Doug Dudley, father Darrell and Joanna. Grandfather was G.M. Dudley.
You're third generation in the business, Dudley Laundry Company, you and George.
Yeah.
And so I'm Bob Dudley, and my uncle Doug and my dad George, and of course they came back after college and came back in '51, but you were born and raised here for the most part in Norfolk. And
Go ahead, Drew.
I'm Drew Dudley. I'm Dad's first child. I'm 22 years old, and Doug is my great uncle.
Mm-hmm.
I am Mitch Dudley. I am the youngest son of Bob and Michelle Dudley. Doug is also my great uncle, and I think I'm the youngest Dudley here in Norfolk.
Right. So the other Dudley that isn't here that you don't see is my cousin Brad Dudley.
Okay.
Doug's son is in Serval in Rapid City.
Okay.
And he's fourth generation as well in the companies.
We started the company 100 years ago. We have grown considerably. They started with 7 employees.
So we are Apira. We had a name change 12 years ago. As Doug alluded, in the 30s, Darrell started Serval Towel and Uniform, and we evolved and had a name change into Apira. We service South Dakota, western Iowa, and northeast Nebraska. We generally say 150-mile radius with 16 routes. Out and about with textile rental supplies. After the fire, I think it was in '03, that's what was kind of the demise of Dudley Dry Cleaners.
Mm-hmm.
That did damage to our soil sort and a lot of damage to our dry cleaning department. And so that was the end of that business. That was really kind of where we started, was the retail laundry business. When George M. started that business, there wasn't Maytag, there wasn't wash and wear and Woolite and Dockers. It was you were doing it at home, and so he brought a lot of that household cleaning in, and they'd return it to the lady of the house, and she could either iron it, finish it, dry it, whatever. So the question we don't haven't answered is how Darrell or how George M. went from a livery stable to a laundry. I don't know the connection, other than I don't know if there was a well already in place, and so he's thinking, well, I got water. We still have the same well today. We pump our own water downtown. So that's one piece of the puzzle we haven't put together. For me, it was because of our proximity to Skyview Lake. I spent a lot of summers sailing on Skyview Lake, and that started with a sailing club with Jerry Hughes and George Dudley and Doyle Buskell and Joe David and Doug and Ginge, we had kids, and they bought, I don't know what we had, 25 sailboats or something came to town.
Really?
And so Jerry held sailing class lessons, and we were all wanting to get in the water, but we're down at Commercial Federal learning to sail and tie a knot, and it's like, as kids, let's go, we want to get in the water. And so I remember that. So the truck comes and unloads these sailboats in our front yard, and all these families had to come and get them and take them back home. Then we head to the lake and go sailing, and I think Jennifer, my sister, and George are in the boat, and we're all on shore watching this, and sure enough, the sailboat goes over, and my dad's wet, and Jennifer, everybody on shore just laughing at this tipped over sailboat.
One memory I could think of was we put up a lemonade stand. I think I was probably around 7 or 8 years old, and Mitch was probably 5 or 6. And so we had it up on Prospect at the Keach's place, neighbors of the Robinsons. So, we were getting decent customers. Prospect is kind of busy, but not really. But we put signs on broomsticks, so we were a little innovative in that respect. And then all of a sudden, we have a Arrow stage line bus start pulling up, and we're like, there's no way they're stopping, but we're gonna give it our all, come on, come over here. And sure enough, they stop, and everyone piles out, and we're like, okay, we're gonna do some more lemonade. But yeah, it was crazy. I feel like that wouldn't happen anywhere else, and definitely big business for that afternoon. Oh my gosh, I remember the roundabout. I kind of throwing her under the bus here. I think this is how it happened. But I remember the roundabout had just come in or something, or we were in a hurry because Jennifer late or whatever. And, like, she had that red van. And, like, we hit a big bump, and it looked like we might have lost something, not sure. So we just continued to drive all the way home. And turns out we lost, like, something underneath her car. And, like, it was in the middle of the roundabout. So I think she sent me or Brandon to go back and get it. But, yeah.
I'd say I answer, we're this kind of community that's all in. Whether you look at like the Big Bang, just having multiple, numerous thousands of people there, or when you look at high school basketball games and we're selling out the gymnasium, and then when the state championship is all the way down in Lincoln, we have more fans there than the Lincoln and Omaha schools. I just think that we're a community where whatever we're doing, we're giving it 100%, and I really see that in everything.
Great.
Yeah, I'd say definitely like togetherness is one of the big things. Being in sports, I mean, we travel 2 hours usually, and we'd have just as many fans there as anyone else. I mean, I played tennis, and like we would have just as many fans as like we were in Omaha, just as many fans as like Omaha schools or anything like that. And so, definitely a place where we can compete with the big cities, but still, it's kind of got that small town feel at the same time.
Yeah, I think family friendly. I said it earlier. I always think of everybody knows your name, and no matter where you go, if you're at Firestone buying tires, or you're going out to dinner, the owners of the restaurant. You know who you're dealing with, and if you got an issue, you're on the phone. You know who to ask for, and that's the part of the small town, family friendly, that you know who you're dealing with. You know who the people are, and that always puts you at ease, thinking I know who to call. I know where to go.
Like
Yeah.
when we originally, we would never even lock the house. House was never locked. Like when I was in high school, the city was about 10,000, and it was just, as Bob says, a great friendly, big family, basically.
Diversity, the growth, and that we're not just an ag-based community, that we continue to expand our industrial base, and that we have good growth and growth of activities and things that people want to partake in, that brings them here. Arts, culture, education, that we get to be known for superior education, that we do have the things that the big cities have, and that there are reasons for people to stay in Norfolk and be here.
Yeah, like you said, I just love the concerts that Divott's doing. I think if we just keep doing that, keep making them bigger, it brings more people to Norfolk, show them the town, and also just cater to like the younger generation who's getting out of college right now, just maybe catering more to like startup businesses, and just making it easier for those to grow here. And then that'd bring in smaller families and all that. I mean, I think I said it before, just all in.
Togetherness and unity.
Family friendly.
Doug, 2 words to describe Norfolk.
Best town
There you go.
in